lounge and Bob's room.
Hey guys, welcome back to Bob's room at the Briary. My name's Joe. This is Aubrey.
That's right this time.
So apparently, one of the things that people like to do around this time is year-end reviews. Like to summarize things, look
Put a
back.
little bow on things because there's like a thing that's going on where you put bows on stuff right now.
Is there
Yeah, it's like a sheep thing.
the sheep thing? Huh. But yeah, you don't want me to put the bow on anything.
It's Christmas!
Oh.
We're doing a year-end review, everybody.
And what a year to review, I might add.
You know, most people, when they do first offs on certain things, which this would technically be a cap off, but whatever, they like to start with the good things. And unfortunately, we're starting with 2020. So guys, hopefully only up from here.
Let's root for it. Look, really, I've kind of adjusted to this point, so even if 2020 is level, I think it's still an improvement.
Yeah, for 2021.
Well, yeah, 2021.
Yeah.
Still an improvement.
Yeah, I would take, like, just the most average of years.
Yeah. We don't have to move. We don't have to tip the scales far to get an improvement, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, just not more negative.
Yeah.
Ask Australia.
Who do you want to take off the list not to ask?
Did Antarctica have a good year?
No, they discovered new ice that's permanently not coming back.
France is having a really bad year.
France is struggling. France is struggling.
They've had a lot of. They had that whole yellow vest revolution earlier this year, and then now with the security cam thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then there's the everybody being shot at by literally everybody else.
Yeah, they had that whole thing. Yeah. So France might have had the worst year. I mean, we had a bad one.
It's debatable, but look, as much grief as I give France, I'm feeling bad for him right now. I'm feeling bad for him.
Hey, didn't Notre Dame happen this year too?
Did that burn this year too?
I think it was this year. Yes.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
It was this year.
Goodness gracious, that's ridiculous.
France got the worst.
Yeah, France wins. I'll give it to him. France wins.
Okay, so as far as the year in review goes, obviously, you know, we want to talk about several different things that have happened this year. So I would like to just kind of take a quick recap of all the bad things that we can remember.
Well, there was that whole lockdown thing.
There was a lockdown thing, yeah. There was a lockdown thing.
That was fun.
Australia was on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Murder hornets.
Oh, the murder hornets. I almost forgot about the murder hornets.
We mentioned several revolutions in Notre Dame.
Yep.
I mean, France. But Notre Dame burned down.
Yeah. Y'all, we could be at this all night. At one point, we were trying to pick what was going to be the next catastrophe. And so I just started listing the plagues from Egypt. We made it to about 4, and I gave up.
We had a interesting little apocalypse disaster bingo card. We got most of our letters. The strangest one was I called for unidentified drone strike, thinking maybe it would be something that made sense, though, even though it was unidentified. I was wrong. Somebody just dropped a whole bunch of weed from drones on Israel. I win, but
You lose.
Yeah.
It's 2020.
yeah, that was weird. But Cracker Barrel started serving booze. And so we win.
That's right. We all win as a result.
For all of us that...
And there was the river in northern China that turned blood red.
Yeah, that actually turned red, yes. Oh, yes, that happened.
Yep.
Well, at least, you know, we all still have jobs.
Nope. But what we do all have, what we have, are some great customers out there who have supported us through all of this.
Don't you make this better. But yeah, he's right. Yeah, it has been amazing the amount of support that we've received throughout this. Truthfully, most tobacco shops did do better. during the not before times, the disaster times, as they will now be referred to.
The disaster times. I like the disaster times. That seems legit.
Yeah, in the disaster times, tobacco shops did better as a whole. Not that we wanted that.
Yeah. Well, we wanted to do better, but not because of this.
Yeah. We just wanted people to enjoy smoking.
Yeah.
And they did.
Yeah.
Fix this? Nope. Cool. Stewing it. Like it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yep.
Who doesn't love the smell of their own brand? But yeah, we are nothing but appreciative of every customer and obviously viewer and everything like that. It's made it incredibly easy for us to get through this. I know it's been hard for everybody who's dealing with how terrible this whole situation is. Maybe things get better eventually.
They will.
Yeah. This too shall pass.
That's right. But yeah, thank y'all so much for hanging in there with us and watching our goofy antics and purchasing some things and keeping us going here. We really appreciate it.
I really like eating, like decadently too.
Right. It's not just about supplying the necessary calories to sustain life over here, though.
Food is an experience, and everybody should do as such. I experience food the same way I experience tobacco. And when I started this job, one of the things is I really need to fix how my palate discerns things. I need to really up that. And I was reading into it and everything, and everywhere I could find was every time you eat food, even if you eat something simple, try to taste every individual ingredient. Not only did it make me enjoy food more, but it also made me enjoy tobacco more.
Yeah, because, and that's an interesting point to bring up, because we talk about flavor profiles in tobacco a lot.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to taste out of this? Is it sweet? Is it spicy? Is it natural? And so that kind of palate development could be really useful as far as getting the nuances out of the tins and even some of our bowls.
Mm-hmm. So for our year-end review, we're going to try not to meander everywhere so that way we can give you some structure. We're not promising a lot here.
We're not promising a lot. Look, we're as done with 2020 as you are.
Mm-hmm. Let's jump into it. One of the things that we never do, we never talk about the tobacco we're smoking. Joe, why don't you talk about what you're smoking?
I am smoking the same tobacco that I started with, which is University Flake by Peterson. So I came in here at the ripe old age of 19 because that's the legal age here in Alabama.
Well, it was.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, now it's 21, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
well,
now it is 21.
In the before times, it was 19, and I wanted...
That happened this year, too. Oh, my...
Well, that went into effect this year. Coming here at 19, and I'm in university. I see University Flake. I'm like, well...
To be fair, you are an academic. It should be noted that you put a lot of effort into both attaining a undergrad and master's degree. He takes academia very seriously, and so him using University Flake, while matching up to his flavor palette, is also very on brand.
It's very on brand, yes. It matched up, so... and it was the first pipe tobacco I ever smoked. Why I started with flakes, I'm a glutton for punishment.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's rough. I didn't move to flakes until later in.
But it's a burley base with a little bit of Virginia in it. Supposedly it has a plum topping to it. I have never tasted the plum topping to it, but...
Well, that's something we've talked about here several times. There's a lot of different blends that have plum toppings, and they don't taste like plum. It turns out the flavor of plum just makes tobacco taste more tobacco-y, which also makes sense considering that my favorite fruit when I was a child was a plum.
Huh.
I think I was always just going to be a tobacconist.
That checks out.
Mm-hmm.
You landed in the right spot.
Who would have thunk?
So that's what I'm smoking. I really enjoy it. I like the flakes because they're nice and thick.
Mm-hmm.
So they're really easy to roll and stuff.
What's the blend components?
Burley, Virginia.
Oh, yeah, that thing. Yeah, see, and this will stay in, and he'll get a blooper reel.
That's fine. That's fine. We'll trade. And so it's really smooth smoking, cool smoking because it is both burley and flake.
Mm-hmm.
So I really enjoy it.
Yeah, he goes through several tins. I know. I do the ordering. I don't know. Just everything that is about Peterson's University Flake. I know I've seen you smoking it you know, for what, like 5 years now?
Yes.
About 5, maybe 4.5, something like that.
5.
Yeah.
But you weren't around before. You and I met working here, so.
Yeah. I think you only, met me once or twice before I started working here. You
Yep.
actually sold me my first tin of Penzance.
Oh, did I really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I got the email, called you like 10 minutes after I got the email, which is amazing.
Right.
And so this is the first time Joe and I have ever talked, and it's super interesting. He's like, "Hey, what can I get for you?" And I was like, "Oh, that's abrupt. Me not having worked here yet, not knowing that Esoterica Day is a nightmare."
Yeah. It is frantic.
Especially considering that at that time it was just Joe and Skip, so it would have been. It's everything we can do with 3 of us to knock out an Esoterica Day. I have no idea how hard it was before. I was like, "Can I get a tin of whatever this Penzance stuff is?" And he's like, "I mean, yeah, you better hurry." And I was like, "Well, all right, I'm on my way." And so back at this time, I lived about 2 hours away from here. And so I drove down, pick it up, had no time to talk.
Right.
The phones are ringing off the hook. Things are going crazy.
I'm throwing tins of tobacco. I'm scribbling in a manner that is even more illegible than my handwriting usually is.
So I come down, I get my tin, I leave. I see Joe another time. I came to get some tobacco, probably.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why else would I be here? And he was like, "Hey, what do you do for work?" And at the time, I was corporate for somewhere. And I was like, I'm corporate for this company, but I'm kind of on my way out. And he's like, "You want to work part-time here?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And there was another guy in here. Do you remember that guy? I've only seen him like a few times. I think twice. And both times were times when we were coming to talk about the job. This guy was milquetoast. He would not have been a good fit here. Super great guy.
Yeah.
Wasn't he like part of the clergy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super great guy. Glad he found his calling. And once he moved from the seminary to the church, perked up a little bit. And he's really blossomed. Done a good job. Seems to be doing really well for himself.
But yeah. And then, that's the story of how Joe and I got to know each other. Because Joe worked really hard to get me hired here. But so that's how you sold me my first tin of Penzance.
Well, there you go.
I smoked it at the time, it was just my girlfriend's house on a snow day where she's a nurse. My wife is a nurse. She was my girlfriend then. She had this townhome. So she got snowed in at this place, and I was like, "Well, I'm going to smoke Penzance in here while it's snowing because that looks great." She came home and was not happy. Great time.
Oh man, I remember that snow day because at the time I was living on the scary hill.
Yes! Oh my god, that hill was frightening.
So to get to the house that I was living in, you had to go up this hill, and on the right side was your death.
Yes.
If you did not make the turn, you were dead. That's the essential thing. The neighbor of mine had 4 dogs.
Okay, and these were nightmare hounds. It's like all of Cujo merged with Cerberus. I remember the first time I ever went up there, it was it for your bachelor party?
It was for my bachelor party.
Yeah, I came up there. By the way, the turn was the most esoteric thing on the planet. Like, you had to wait for the sun to come up through the mountains to hit this perfect light and open the crystal doors, and then you went through. And so, I missed that hour a few times. But finally I get there and I pull up and I'm talking to Joe on the phone. And about that time, my car is completely encompassed with what I can only describe to you as Cerberai and maybe Anubis's like ill-fated, poorly disciplined children. It was really terrible. Like, "Hey, what do I do?" And he's like, "I mean, you just get out." And I was like, "Yeah, you're gonna have to come out here and get rid of these dogs. This is a nightmare."
Yeah. So I didn't even call Skip to say I wasn't coming. I just took a video. I just took a photograph of the adventure that it was going to be for me to get to the main road, and just sent it to him. Yeah, no, you're good. So yeah, what are you smoking?
Oh yeah, we're talking about that. I am smoking a mixture that I have stumbled across. It's dark fragrant and crumble cake Virginia Perique mixed together. But yeah, so I'm a big fan of Virginias. I'm sure I've mentioned it. I like Virginias because they're complex. I don't particularly care for golden Virginias. I think that they are very single note and bassy, if you want the truth of it. So I like red Virginias. McClellan got me started on the concept of red Virginias. We all know they made the best, rest in power. So I really enjoyed them. They went out of business, and I had to begin my search for something that would fill the void of St. James Woods. Best tobacco ever invented.
Blended.
Yes. I really have always liked Rattrays. They make great blends. They do a really good job with aged brown, mottled brown Virginias. They do a really great job with that. But they never quite had the decadent sweetness that McClellan had. It happens. So I moved on to Crumble Cake's Red Virginia. Really enjoyed that.
From which company?
Sutliff.
Very good.
Yeah, Sutliff's Crumble Cake Red Virginia, in my opinion, professional as it is the closest thing to McClellan's, just molasses-like sweetness that we don't have anymore. That being said, it was always missing just a little bit for me, right? And not many companies make what is a Stone Virginia. Most people think Stone Virginia is just Cavendish. It's a little bit different than just Cavendish. The process of making Cavendish, I know we went over that in the blending video. You heat and put the tobacco under pressure. It squeezes all the flavor out and makes it incredibly smooth. Well, before you squeeze all the flavor out, you take it out. And so you still have all that great richness of the Virginias with the smoothness of the Cavendish. And so it's really nice. And Rattray's Dark Fragrant has that with a little bit of Perique. But
the Perique, by the way, is the key ingredient here. Anyway, go ahead.
I do like Perique. I do like the spiciness, and it adds complexity to normal Virginias. But it was always missing that decadence. And so one day I was like, well, usually when you decide to blend two tobaccos together, you get the worst of everything. And I decided to take Sutliff's Crumble Cake Virginia Perique, which uses the Red Virginia, and mix it with Dark Fragrant, 2-to-1 on the recipe. Dark Fragrant being the 2, Crumble Cake being the 1. And it makes the best tobacco ever, besides St. James Woods. You get all the smoothness and this like full flavor from the Stone Virginias. You get the sweetness from the Reds, and then the Perique really rounds it out and gives you that last bit of spiciness. It smokes great. And so that's pretty much, I smoke that like 3 or 4 bowls a day at this point.
Yeah, he's committed.
And we have several people who have started buying to make that blend too. It's a shame since Rattrays is so hard to get.
Yeah. The logistics and distribution of tobacco has been one of our greatest headaches in 2020.
Those are the tobaccos that we are almost always smoking when we do those videos. Sometimes we'll vary it up if we're doing a review or something like that. Or maybe we just want a palate cleanser. But yeah, that's pretty much how it goes.
Yeah.
Now, Joe, I know you said University Flake was the first thing you ever smoked. Did you ever meander away from Virginia Burleys into other genres and then,
Yeah, when I first started here, if I'm going to be a salesperson, I want to know my product.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried everything in our bulks, which is up on the bar. We got a pretty good variety of the flavors up there. We don't have a Virginia Perique, but 70.
We had Lane's 125 at one point, but I'm not a huge fan.
So I smoked everything on the bar, and I then went on a bender of Englishes, Virginia and Latakia mixtures, smoked a lot of them. And then one day I lit up 2 different bowls at 2 different times, and I realized that this is all striking me about the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew I liked that, and so then I went on a exploration of Burleys and found the Solani-aged Burley Flake.
Oh, man. I forget about that. That's a good Burley.
That's
I don't even like Burley.
Yeah, it's a fantastic Burley. PS41 in the bulks, the cube cut in the bulk, which is really good. It has some unflavored Cavendish in it, which produces a little bit of what Aubrey was talking about with the Virginias. But yeah, I tried some Virginias, but apparently this thing happens where if you become predominantly a Burley or a Virginia smoker and then try to sneak over to the other camp, it doesn't fly.
Yeah, we both have the same issue. So Virginias are a bit more finicky in how you have to smoke them much cooler because they just don't handle heat as well as Burleys do, and so you get that temperature tongue bite. And also Virginias are much more acidic and much less alkaline than Burleys are, and so when I smoke a Burley, the alkalineness of the basiness of the Burley gives me chemical tongue bite, and it's very painful. And he goes through the same thing with Virginias.
Yeah, and I demonstrated that very, very recently with the Kringle cake?
Kringle Flake.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kringle Flake. I thought it was incredible. I absolutely loved it. It was a great limited release. I wish I'd bought more of it when I had the opportunity. Didn't happen. We both tried it at the same time. I really enjoy it, and Joe goes, "This is bitey."
Yeah. Yeah, which brings up another thing of the two different varieties of tongue bite. There is a heat bite, which is unfortunate, and we've all done it. We got excited. We started puffing too fast, trying to keep the thing in the sweet spot.
Yeah, you hit that sweet spot, and you're like, "Oh, I gotta get more of this. I'm out of the sweet spot. No!"
Yeah, and then you've roasted your tongue. It happens. We've all done it. No big deal. But the other one is the chemical tongue bite, which is your mouth competing with the chemical composition of the tobacco smoke. And that one is unfortunate as well, but...
Yeah, and there's really nothing you can do for that one once you have it. So yeah, you camped around, hit English, and then ended up back, right?
Yeah.
My story is very similar. You know, I came in, started with aromatics as most do, and then I got into Englishes, much like Joe did, and went on an English bender. Just all I smoked was Englishes, English. And like with Englishes, the only, in my opinion, like I still think Englishes are good. Don't get me wrong. I just burnt myself out on them.
Right.
But like Joe, they aren't as complex as I would like. You pretty much only have control over how much Latakia it has and does it have Balkans.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. They're still good. They're tasty, great in the winter. They're great, but just not my thing, unfortunately. And so then I started working here, and as you do here, you smoke everything. It's kind of our one rule for pretty much all employees is you have to smoke everything in the shop. It takes a minute.
It does?
But you do it, and you're a better tobacconist for it. And I eventually just settled in, found out that I love McClellan, and settled in on Virginias, and that's where I hit now.
Yeah.
Very rarely do I smoke aromatics or English now. I mean, I still do, just not as often as I used to. And whenever we get something new in, we're going to smoke it.
We're going to smoke it.
Yeah. So that seems to be, and I've noticed that that's kind of a trend for like 90% of our customers.
Yeah.
They get into aromatics, and they're like, I want to try non-aromatics. So they buy a new pipe, get into Englishes, love Englishes.
Love Englishes.
Burn them up.
Yeah.
Smoke English. Then they're like, nah, I don't really like English anymore. What do I need to get into? And then they either hit Virginia or Burley, and that's where they stay. Very rarely does somebody, or fire cured.
Or fire cured, yeah, but that's fire cured Burley.
Yeah, or fire cured Virginia for that matter.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much how it always goes. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some people who still smoke English.
Oh yeah, and English is great.
Yes, we're not poo-pooing upon it. It's just not our bag.
It's just not our bag.
Just like aromatics are fine. Just not our bag.
Aromatics are great. They keep us in business, hands down.
Yeah.
If you're an aromatic smoker, we especially appreciate you.
Yeah, you pay the bills around here.
That's right.
I guess this is a 2020 review, so maybe all history is not great here. So let's do some 2020 history.
2020 history.
What are some things that happened for the shop that we did this year that was interesting?
Lockdown increased our social media presence.
Yeah, we really worked. I mean, I'm sure you guys had noticed that we produced a lot of videos and had an online lounge for a while during the lockdown.
Oh yeah, the online lounge?
I totally forgot about that.
I did too, till you just mentioned it. But yeah, we significantly increased our online presence. Yeah.
Yeah, we also repainted and replaced a lot of wood at the store.
That's right. We gave the old girl here a facelift.
Yeah, we had noticed that the house was this shop. The building was made in 1899. It's very, very, very old.
Yeah.
Some of the wood was not doing so well. Not a lot of it. Truthfully, they did not have to replace a lot. In fact, maybe like 3% of the wood.
Yeah.
It was like 15 boards.
Yeah. Brought Mark Tinsky back to the shop. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, after a long time of Mark Tinsky Pipes not being here, we decided to bring him back, and we're really happy with it. He did fantastically.
Yeah, he does some fantastic work.
And to bring an American legend back is kind of cool to do that here, especially considering that he had such a big hand in Skip's formative experience learning how to carve pipes.
Yes. Yes.
As far as tobacco goes, I mean, we brought in Seattle Pipe Club.
Yep. Seattle Pipe Club. Well, Seattle Pipe Club had a little bit of a change this year, didn't they?
Oh yeah. What was that?
They changed distributors.
That's right. Yes. Seattle Pipe Club is now distributed by Sutliff Tobacco.
Mm-hmm. And while we've been mentioning Sutliff a good bit here, let's applaud them for a minute.
Sutliff, for a long time, I hope they don't watch this video. Sutliff, for a long time, every old timer on the planet was like, Sutliff is the worst. They make subpar tobacco. It's terrible. Don't buy it. And then, in the past, I would say this year is where they really, really took off. I would put Sutliff as one of the best blenders that we have right now. They do great.
Yeah. One of the first ones I was encouraged to start with when I landed in the Burley thing was Golden Extra.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, it was okay. Wasn't great. I probably wouldn't have recommended it to anybody else. But now, no. Go get you a 10 or some ounces of Golden Extra. That's fantastic.
They make crumble cake. And it mostly comes from their merger with McBaron.
Yes. Yes. Apparently McBaron has some very good blenders, but before the merger between McBaron and Sutliff, they didn't necessarily have the greatest tobaccos.
Right.
And so Sutliff had great tobaccos but no blenders, and now the two are commingling. It's nice.
Yeah, I am nothing but happy. We carry so many more Sutliff products now, whether it be Three Nuns, Crumble Cake, all of McBaron's stuff, Tobacconist Reserve. Well, no, we can mention it. We just can't sell it online.
Okay.
So Tobacconist Reserve, as many of you might not know, is a special tin tobacco that is B&M only. You can only buy it physically. You cannot order it. They made a very, very big deal of telling us that when I brought it in. Our rep, at the time, was, he's still a great friend of mine, but he's moved up in the company and he no longer has to deal with lowly peons like myself. But I called him one day and I was like, hey, I heard something about this Tobacconist Reserve stuff. Can you let me know? He's like, all right, I can let you guys in on it, but here's the deal. You cannot sell it online. If we see it on your website, we will have to pull it from you. And I was like, that's cool, man. That's just less work we have to do.
That's right.
So we were the first store in the country to carry it, actually, which was very cool. But yeah, there's two varieties. There's Tobacconist Reserve Virginia Blend, which is incredible. It's kind of like crumble cake. It's in that crumble cake form, but it's a little less sweet and a little bit more complex. Very, very good. And then there's also Blend 07, which is a peaches and mango aromatic. And it's not overbearing as an aromatic. I actually keep it at home to smoke around some people.
Yeah, I was really surprised with the Blend 07 because I was expecting fruit trail mix kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's smooth, it's tasty, pleasant.
Oh man, Samuel Gawith that's a kind of a sad 2020 loss, right?
Yeah.
Because Gawith Hogarth didn't refile for their license. So they won't be back in the States. It'll still be available, just not in the United States. Samuel Gawith, while they're still going to be available within the States, they're going to be pulling and discontinuing 4 tobaccos, 2 of which I love. One was Cabby's Mixture, which was incredible. The second, Bothy Flake, which is an incredible Latakia soaked in Scotch. Very good English blend.
So of the 4, he's got 2. I get 1, Lakeland Dark.
Oh, man. Yeah, Lakeland Dark. I forgot that was one of them, but man, Lakeland Dark, it was just great, it's 1792 flake without the topping is what it is.
It was a fantastic fire-cured tobacco. They did a really great job of blending in their top tier Virginias. It was nice.
The last one was Country Talisman. It's a
Oh yeah,
whiskey flavored aromatic.
Yeah.
It's fine.
it's good.
All right, but top tobaccos that we brought in this year. That we can do because we brought in a lot of different tobaccos.
Brought in a lot of different tobaccos this year. I don't know that I can remember all the tobaccos this year. So Mississippi River and Plum Pudding did really well for us. Was really glad to see that the hype around those blends was actually flavorful tobaccos in the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, fantastic. We brought in Dark Fragrant this year.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, it's incredible. Get it while you can because I can't get it again for a while. Kringle Flake was incredible. Crumble Cake's cast number 1 is very interesting.
Crumble Cake cast number 1. That was a really unique tobacco. I don't necessarily know if I'd tell you that it was in my wheelhouse.
I would agree, simply because I did enjoy it. It was a limited release by Sutler's Crumble Cake series. It's cast number 1. And it's essentially their Red Virginia aged in an apple brandy barrel.
Uh-huh.
And it's really good. It's very good quality tobacco. The apple brandy really comes through. Like, it wasn't used as a casing. It was just kind of like how Frogmorton's whiskey staff
Stave?
was, not flavored, but it still imparted the taste. It was the exact same thing. I will say it was very, very, very good, and I really enjoyed it. Not my kind of thing, because the Virginias didn't come through as much as I wanted them to. That being said, if you like apple brandy or want a good apple tobacco, This is incredible.
The John Azelberry Psyllium's crossover. We brought that in.
Oh yeah, those were some very neat aromatics, and we still have plenty of those. Psylliums. I don't know. It's an old school tobacco that was around a long time ago, and really a lot of people just don't care about now.
Yeah.
If you want the truth of it, that's how that one works.
But they made some really interesting blends, and interesting in a good way. Interesting, not in, well, that was an idea.
Yeah, no, they were interesting in that they were unique.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't file for their tobacco license. It's starting to become a bit of a pattern. But John Azelberry, which is owned by F&K, I believe.
Yeah, they have some kind of relationship.
There's some kind of, they either distribute it or they, which is the same people as Bet and Hat, or they own it. But they took it up, and it's all the same stuff, just different name now.
Yeah, just a different label.
Even the colors are the same blends.
Well, and speaking of new labels on old blends.
Oh yeah, Peterson and Dunhill.
Peterson and Dunhill.
Man, to see Dunhill exit the tobacco market is wild.
The first time I pulled out the Peterson tobacco, the nightcap with the Peterson label on it, it blew my mind.
Oh, it is so weird to see. Like, even though the labels look very similar, I don't know, it was just wild.
And even now, I see the nightcap and I go, oh yeah, there's Dunhill and Peterson's nightcap.
Yeah, Peterson. Which also, Peterson was picked up by Scandinavian General Tobacco.
Yeah.
What about just random experiences that really blew your mind this year? Within customer interactions or anything?
What didn't blow my mind this year?
Truthfully, how well we did selling tobacco from the curb during our lockdown. That was pretty fun.
And I will pat us on the back. I thought we did a really good job of adapting to the situation.
Yeah.
All right, look, we can't do this, but what we can do for you is that.
Essentially, we cut one of the screens open on our window and started a drive-through window that not everybody could quite figure out, even though I made a big sign.
Well,
over it.
We took trays of pipes out to cars.
Oh man.
Took handfuls of cigars out to guys.
Yeah, it really was kind of wild.
I tell you, the other thing that surprised me in a pleasant way was our customers adapting as well. Everybody's been real chill.
Everybody did the things that they could, and we, obviously there's tons of videos of you can see people just acting not great.
A fool.
Yeah, yes, in fact, fool. We really didn't see any of that here, and we're very happy.
So again, thank you very much. We appreciate you.
So Joe, as a total recap, how do you feel about this year?
There's a lot to get you down in the dirts this year. There's a lot to make you think this is just going to irreparably damage everything and it's just going to perpetually be broken, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of bright spots in this too. We talked about y'all's support and how much we appreciate that. We talked about our ability to adapt. Because companies are still producing tobacco, pipe makers are still making pipes, and they're doing really neat and groovy things.
Right.
So let's give it a hopeful 3 and move on with our existence. I'll put it right in the middle and we'll move on.
I was wondering, because in my mind, apparently I decided not to do this in our tobacco rating scale, but in my head I was like out of 10, and I was like, man, we can't really rate this year high. Obviously, like it's a bad year, but a hopeful. I thought you were gonna be like, yeah, I think we could give it a hopeful 8. No, go, what?
Whoa, yeah.
What did you just say? No, what? No, we can't cut that. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
But hopeful 3. I can get behind. Yeah. I can agree with that. Us being able to obviously keep our jobs and everything, work here.
Also,
great.
I thought I was going to use a 5-point scale, so I was going to go right dead in the center. So if it's at a 10, it's a 5.
I'm going to stay at 3. Hopeful. I can at least understand 5. 8. That I somehow attributed to you in my brain.
Yeah,
I will never figure out why that I thought was going to come out of your mouth.
No, that's a generous number. That's not a hopeful number. That's a generous number.
Yeah, 2019 was an 8.
Well, yeah.
But 2020, like I said, we had some good things personally happen here at the shop. Truthfully, people had nothing to do but stay at home and smoke. And so we were able to provide that, and that feels nice.
Yeah.
Some good things came out of this year. Obviously, it was a hard year. And to everybody who was affected, we really hate it, and we would love to be able to do anything for you. But yeah, I gotta give it a 3.
Hey, look, I'm not going to debate with that.
Fair enough. And that's been our 2020 year-end review. I'm sorry if you were expecting a pipe review or a tobacco review or a field guide or something like that. But I hope you kind of enjoyed this, very casual look in to what we do. And how we kind of view things. We would like to continue to be really casual and transparent with you guys. If you have any questions that you may want to work into some sort of other casual video, like these won't be a thing that we do often. They just won't.
Right.
Maybe once every 6 months or something, maybe. But if you decide that that's something that you're interested in and you would like for us to, answer some sort of question or something like that, just give us a holler and
leave us a comment. The little comment box down there. Just send us a question.
Yeah, send Joe a message. He'll answer it on there, or if you would prefer it be answered in video form so we could expound on it a little bit better, just let him know and we'll apply it to some sort of list or something.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, it's been great. We really enjoyed doing this video. Like I said, it was a lot easier for us just to kind of meander through and talk about different things as opposed to, really focusing up on something. Because during these holidays, it's just hard for us to focus on anything.
Decision fatigue is for real.
Oh, man, no joke.
So, I'm not going to apologize for this video. This is our year-end video. We reviewed the year as we were apparently scheduled to do.
Yes.
But we're at the Briary, man. We're going to do it our way. Come on, man.
Exactly. We appreciate it, and we look forward to giving you videos next year.
Well, sir, we'll see y'all real soon.